where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts, on and off the pod. Round of applause for the squad. I've been kicking it back for what feels like the better half of 2 months. When they come in and have a great pod, I have to acknowledge it as such. And I have to acknowledge the stark difference between the two pods. Flip. Before I even start on my diatribe for today, I was talking to my brother earlier, like we do every day, and he was talking to me about the pod, which hadn't happened in a while, on a positive note, talking about the intro. We were reminiscing on them Drake days back in the 08 to 10 era. Then he was like, man, Flip has gotten a whole lot better. Yo, he's podding his ass off today. I hope someone acknowledges it. And guys, let's be clear. My brother knows what I do. So that was his way of telling me, you better make a good video about Flip today. So I was like, all right, bet, I got you, Flip. I'm going to give you praise because you deserve it. You have learned to pick your spots better. You're giving us bursts of the original Queenzflip energy, but you're sitting in the back. As far as that's concerned in the pod, unfortunately for you, it makes the pod go better, and you're getting your questions off while progressing the conversation. You're not trying to be the center of the room anymore. Given all of the Mona smoke, it's easy to compare the two of you, but I'm going to single you out and just compare you to the old you. When you first came on, you were the spark. Nobody else was providing the energy that you provided, so you felt like you had to do it every single time you spoke. And that's the same issue a lot of us have with Mona right now, which is why I had to go back and check her on her own to see why she is the way she is around the rest of the guys. I felt like I was able to break that down. Flip, on the other hand, there's no excuse. The fact that we are even comparing you to Mona should be duly noted. All right, man, I've been booty bopped up for a long time. I just saw a clip from Deontay Kyle to the point where I want to search for the episode. This nigga's been killing my algorithm. He said, man, I didn't like my mom. Yo, she got on my nerves. She slapped me for no reason, bro. Then as the clip progressed, the nig was selling drugs from a house, had a gun in the mattress or under the mattress. The police were looking for him and got warrants. All right, G, you may not have done anything to her, but things are happening to her as a direct result to you. Yes, you deserve to get your ass slapped. Same thing for Flip. Why are you getting treated this way? Why do all the guys belittle you when you're on set? Why are you only here once a week as opposed to every day like everyone else? Why does Joe tell you to stop speaking on BTS? Why is he singling you out on these things? Oh, I get it. Because you're the only one who's doing these things for it to be spoken about. As much as we want to compare Philip and Mona against each other or pit them against each other, we're doing that because they share similar energies and could be going down similar paths. Now, nope, I'm going to keep that to myself. Flip, you do deserve to be on every episode of the pod, but it's getting harder for me to deny everything else that everyone's saying. Normally, when I'm stuck on liking somebody, I don't pay attention to the negative critiques, but it's getting more and more rampant. Even today, on today's good-ass episode, I saw people commenting, well, yeah, if you have to tame someone down from who they are they really good? And damn, Flip, I didn't hear you speak for 40 minutes. Is he really needed? To answer both questions, yes, I am needed, and yes, I had to get tamed, because you can't have 24-hour rambunctious on the pod and expect to have a cohesive episode. Joe at one point was even talking about winning Emmys. I'm going to do my due diligence because as much as Flip says Joe has a powerful voice, I'm starting to realize we, the community, have a powerful voice too. I'm going to do my due diligence to stop pitting Flip against Mona and start pitting Flip against old Flip. He's picking his spots better. He's learned how to produce from the pocket better, how to stay in the pocket like a quarterback. But it took him 4 years to get to this point. Let's be clear. People understand change is happening when they change themselves. This is the first time it seems like Flip has taken these threats seriously. Ian and Joe have been talking to him behind the scenes for years, and he would bring it on to the pod thinking it's fodder for the rest of the gang or the audience. Yeah, I got in trouble, but it's no big deal. So what? Thinking it's all fun and games until he got that kick in the caboose when Mona came. He felt the same energy that Ish and Ice felt when Queenzflip and Melissa Ford came on, and then he was able to share in it with them when Mark Lamont Hill came on. But now that Queenzflip feels his direct opposition there in Mona, he wants to get a kick in the chops and do better. Come on, man. It's funny how instead of giving him praise for what should be deemed praise, because he did do well as a cohesive team today, people overlook it. Unfortunately, there are too many things that happened in his past that will have everybody look at today's episode as an anomaly. And hopefully, the grace that I'm giving him now, Mona will be able to work through her shit to reach that same spot. It's easy for us to turn our backs on the newbie. It was easy to look at J-Wine like, oh, you're too aggressive, too this, too that. But the funny thing is, no one is saying J-Wine was wrong. If we run Mona off, no one will say, after time passes, that the things she was saying toward them were wrong. So the same way we felt beholden to Flip because of what he did for the podcast, we have to realize Mona is going to do the same thing. But you have to teach her. You can't teach everybody by shunning them. I don't know. Y'all let me know if I'm bugging in the comments section. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we're rocking. Is this a sign of a tide shift? A sign of things changing? Or is this a sign that Joe heard the backlash from the previous episode and wanted to make amends? It's water under the bridge, guys. It was just one bad episode. Unfortunately, with a different host dynamic, so they get the chance to redeem themselves. I'm hoping this was a one-time thing. We were speaking on Mona's contract being similar to J-Wine's contract, and if we're going to speak on those things, we have to speak on all the other similarities too. Either way, I'll see y'all soon. Peace.